race is once again dogging the Republican Party. Two of the candidates chasing Mitt Romney in the polls have really stepped in it again.
I'm prepared, if the NAACP invites me, I'll go to their convention and talk about why the African American community should demand paychecks and not be satisfied with food stamps.
I don't want to make people's lives better by giving them somebody else's money.
Let's bring back Ari Melber of The Nation magazine and MSNBC contributor Joy Ann Reid. I have to tell you, I'm stunned by both those comments. Even if they think that way in their heart, they're stupid to say something like that. And first of all, let's start with Newt. Newt is totally wrong. He doesn't have his facts straight. It's stereotyping to the nth degree. I mean, it's almost like black people in America don't even think about voting for us. Your thoughts?
Well, speaking for the blah people at the table, my message to Republicans would be this. We're not in your primary. There are very few black Republicans. You know, black people make up maybe 4% of the Republican Party. Why are you bringing black people up? Like, why are you proactively, without being asked about it, unprompted, bringing up black people? The only reason that could be being done is because you know that there's an audience that is in the Republican Party that is open to the sort of welfare queen's message, to this stereotyping that the problem in America is that those people are taking your stuff.
Does that help them on the campaign trail with the Republican base, Ari?
I don't think it helps with a large portion of the Republican base, but I do think if you look at the birther movement, which I've always maintained was about race and was about delegitimizing the first black president, no white president has ever been pressed for their birth certificate credentials. If you look at that, there was this ripe audience for it. There was a hunger for it. Donald Trump traded on it, as people have pointed out. So clearly there is something there. What strikes me as so ridiculous and I think a little sad about Santorum's comments is he is injecting it, right? It is not necessary. It is not part of the conversation. Right. Now, he may be doing it as a tick and it sort of slips out and then he kind of has this ridiculous defense of it, or he may think that it shows a willingness to be a little rough.
Well, the irony is that the NAACP has invited him to their convention in the past to speak.
He didn't go. He didn't go.
No, he didn't go. But he's saying if they would invite me, as if they never have. His comments on food stamps, I tell you what, very peculiar and condescending and ill-informed with his facts. And he's taken a similar line talking about school children and poor kids about, maybe they can be janitors.
Make them janitors.
I mean, you put all these comments together and no one from the Republican Party steps up and says, hey, this is not who we are.
Not even black Republicans. The thing that's disappointing is that you don't have African-American Republicans stepping up and saying, hey, this is out of line. But if you go back and look at the polling, when they did demographic looks at the Tea Party movement, they tend to be older, they tend to be whiter, and they tend to be more likely to believe that society is unequally weighted toward minorities, that minorities have undue benefits in society that they're not getting. It appeals to sort of, in a down economy, people want to find a villain, and there is a part of that base that says it's minorities, it's immigrants, it's blacks.
Well, what about Mitt Romney when he says President Obama wants an entitlement society? I mean, is he pushing basically the same buttons but maybe doing it in a more subtle way?
I don't see it quite that way. I think that the entitlement issue for Romney has been this opportunity vision where he is trying to wrap his corporate background, which doesn't necessarily mean entitlement or opportunity for everyone, but try to take the time at Bain and turn it into this model for the entire United States. And by the way, I think that's a debate the White House is eager to have.
We got some great job numbers today. 200,000 jobs in December, and you listen to these Republican candidates, and you have 22 months of private sector job growth, and they're still bad-mouthing the economy.
You're right. And the funny thing about it is, as much as Republicans reference Ronald Reagan, what Ronald Reagan had going for him, right, was optimism. Mm-hmm. The idea that things are going to get better. It's going to be morning in America. These are the most negative, dour pack of Republican candidates I've ever seen. There's no optimism. Even when numbers are good, they can't even celebrate it.
Does this hurt either one of them, catching Romney in New Hampshire? I mean, people know what race is, and they know what it's all about, and faith-based people don't take kindly to these kinds of comments. It would seem to me that what Santorum has said this week might hurt him in New Hampshire. What do you think?
Well, and I think the other problem here is it's sort of a meta problem, but it's real, is Santorum's out there getting a look for the first time, right? So when he has to explain away controversial comments, whether they were designed to appeal to you or not, and I think some of this could come up at the debate. He doesn't look ready for prime time, and that's been the biggest problem.
How tough is the debate going to be?
I think it's going to be the biggest knockdown, drag-out fight. There's nothing more dangerous in politics than someone who's willing to do a murder-suicide, and that's what you have on your hands with Gingrich.
Angry Newt. I cannot wait.
The guy who said that really set the table for vilifying opponents is whining about all these super PACs, and this is his chance to get even. How can he not show up guns blazing? How can he not come up with the verbal attack throughout the entire time? I don't know how he can do it and hold his credibility. Ari Melber, Joy Ann Reid, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.